We are live. Assume we're live for sure. All right. Welcome to Living by Oak Values. I'm Robert, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host Gary, better known as the Superior Mailman. Together, we are delivering real talk, strong values, and a few laughs along the way. This show is where grit meets growth, where values aren't just talked about, they're lived. We'll dive into stories that challenge, moments that inspire, and a few laughs that remind us that we're all humans trying to figure this out. Whether you've been with us from the start a year ago, or you're just now tuning in to season two, welcome to the crew. Grab your free toolbox and stay updated at our website, northmancoaching.com. Gary?
We are real, raw, and ready to rebuild. And tonight we are bringing it live. Let's dive in and make this one unforgettable. Season 2, Episode 1.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, brother. So,
So
talking about
how would
purpose
you like
tonight.
to start out season two?
Let's talk about purpose. That's what the value we're doing.
Actually, that correlates very well. Season two is purpose. And i- the funny thing is our logo has a compass on it because compasses are like your purpose. It gives you a direction to go in. It says, "Hey, go this direction." And
Absolutely.
that's what if I was to describe compass to a little kid, I'd say, "Yes, you have a compass in your hand. It says go north, or point wherever you need to go that direction." So yes, uh, I do like that our logo has a compass in it because it does mean purpose to me as well. So
Gotcha. I also have the compass on my tattoo. So,
yes, you did.
yep.
And what does that tattoo mean?
What is it? Tattoo? Blah, 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 blah. Tattoo is just it my compass points me in my true north, and the oak tree is my strength. So yeah. So when life gets chaotic and painful, the tattoo reminds me to use my compass to find my true north.
Yeah, we were talking to somebody else who had a compass on their arms, and when they started getting distracted by life, he would look down on his arm at the tattoo of the compass, and it would remind him to stay um, in the direction
Yeah.
north.
Yep.
So I think that was Dan. I want to
Was
say
it?
that was a conversation we had Dan's Frisk
It might have been.
episode.
It might have been. I'm trying to think. I can recall the story, but I can't recall who it was. So
I'm pretty sure it was Dan. And go back to his um episode we had. That was a very good episode to listen to
yeah,
if you wanted to
absolutely.
go
It was.
back and so getting back to purpose.
Yes.
And we had talked about this yesterday where as a kid, I didn't really know my purpose. It wasn't until I was driven to the brink of reinventing myself, finding my next layer, that I said, "Oh, I want this. I know I want this, and no matter what, this is where I'm going for." But we talked about how my daughter, she and she's what, 16, she's 17. She doesn't seem to have purpose, but at the same time, she does have purpose. And it's kind of a weird balance. She knows some things she wants in her life, like she's driven to go to one particular college. But at the same time, you ask her what she wants for lunch or what does she plan to do with that degree that she's seeking. I have no idea. I love her answers. I really don't love her answer. I don't know. And it's like, what's your purpose? I don't know. But yet she has some kind of driven force that she knows exactly what degree, what college she wants to go to. But beyond that, she doesn't have a purpose.
Well. I don't know what I want for lunch either, but I have a purpose.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but from the outside looking in, I would say that your daughter definitely has a purpose.
Mm.
So I don't know her that well, but I do know that she's going to go to school to be a marine biologist. She
Yeah.
loves the ocean. Um, and as long as I've known you, you have talked about her, and she has talked about the marine biology thing. So I definitely
Yeah.
think that's her purpose. Whether that's the purpose that she's going to end her life with, who knows? Because we've all had
Yeah.
our purposes that have changed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, my purpose prior to this work was probably similar to your purpose. I mean, I've had definitely many different professions, but my purpose I thought was to get married, get a job, buy a house, make babies, retire, and die.
Mm.
And let me tell you,
Hmm.
I was like 95% there. The only thing I had
Yeah.
left was retirement and death.
Exactly. That's exactly. And a lot of guys, that's how we're raised,
Mm-hmm.
is that's the end goal is to get married, or the end goal is to finish the job, retire. But
Yeah,
there's no real purpose in life. There is no saying, hey, your purpose guides your actions every day.
every day.
Getting married doesn't guide your actions.
It it's funny because you say it doesn't guide your actions.
No, it's like every day. Just because you're a married man, does that
Okay, but
really?
waiting to get married,
Well,
you that
yeah,
drives you to do things.
it
Like
does.
so on my videos this whole week for the past few days for the mailman, for the superior mailman, I've been talking about um, purpose and how
Mm,
that a man with no purpose has no drive. A man with no purpose will fail. And it's true. If I don't have a job at hand, then I wander, or what's the word? I drift.
hmm.
Even the act of delivering the mail. I walk 15 miles a day, and I am going. On my days off, I don't move, and I'll walk to take the trash out, or I'll walk to my mailbox, or I'll walk through the store, and I just stroll because
Mm,
I have no purpose. I have no mission. Like when I'm out working, that mission, I'm moving. So without a purpose, we just drift.
yeah. And um, there's a song about getting knocked down and getting back up.
Yes,
Without a purpose, you don't get back up.
you don't for sure.
You just sit there and waller and say,
Yes,
"Oh, I got knocked down," but you don't get back up.
right.
Or you just complain as you get back up. I used to complain a lot.
Victim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
victim.
I mean, if you think about it, so we had the same purpose, which was marriage, kids, whatever, moving forward. When that ended, how long did you stay down for?
Oh, I was probably down for a good 6 months.
I was down for a while.
Yeah,
I was lost. I had no purpose. I had no idea
yeah.
what I was doing.
I was on like looking. Actually, I was looking for a purpose, or I actually wasn't looking for a purpose. I was looking for why I didn't, what I needed to do next, because I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know where to go.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I can't
yeah.
recall if I was looking for one or not, but I know I was down and out for a hot minute.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. So, um, I noticed that the biggest difference between when I didn't have a purpose and when I did have a purpose
hmm
is I had a reason why I do things sometimes. Like the reason why I'm doing this podcast.
okay.
And,
What's
and
that?
it,
What's that
and it
reason?
because it is a legacy that I'm leaving to everybody out in YouTube land, in
YouTube land. I love
Facebook.
it.
Yeah, it is the legacy that says, "Hey, Robert put himself out there and tried to be a good man. And if my grandkids watch it or somebody gets a little piece to help from my experience, that's
Yeah.
kind of the purpose of doing this."
Yeah.
So, and
It's funny when you say that because my brother was talking to me few weeks back, and he said that he was proud that I was getting out there and putting myself out there,
Mm-hmm.
doing videos and all over YouTube and TikTok and Facebook. And I recall when I first started this, it was pretty terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm proud of you." I'm like, but when he said that to me, it's like nothing. This is like normal life now.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird how things shift once you get accustomed to them. And I feel like that's part of the purpose. Like my confidence is built up now that I have a
Yep.
purpose. So I know that I have to do these videos. Because if the message reaches one person, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
So somebody helped me once, and I want to just pay that forward as much as I can.
Yeah, as we were talking about doing this one, you were like, yeah, um, you start walking differently
Yeah.
because you use your purpose on how you wake up and walk every day.
Yep.
It is just like, hey, I don't take the same route to work every day, or hey, I people just notice that you're more confident or you have a purpose. You don't take things the same way.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're a different person.
You absolutely are a different person though. I mean, I
Yeah.
know that since I started work, I stand up taller. I
Hmm.
walk with a purpose. I actually talk different, and I think
Mm.
I almost think I look different. Like if you look at my original first few videos I've ever did, I was all over the place. I'm
Hmm.
still all over the place a little bit, but I'm definitely getting better. So I think I look differently. I think I act differently. But I want you to tell the listeners about what it means to walk differently, because you told me something a few years ago that hit me, and I loved it, and I tried it. Don't do it all the time, but it's interesting. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm glad you said. Well, I can't remember the book I read, and I said sometimes I just go walking in the park and I push myself through the wind that the wind has to move around me.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, something in that ballpark. And it was just noticing that I'm pushing through the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a unique experience. I remember telling you, but I don't remember. I didn't remember how you took it. So
Well, I don't remember how I took it originally. I thought you were probably a little crazy, but I
yeah.
recall trying it not too long after, and I was not feeling whatever I was doing, and I just started kicking and pushing the wind and
Hmm.
acting as if I owned the air around me
Yes.
versus the wind
Yeah.
blowing me down. I was pushing the wind out of my way,
Yes. That's what it was. Pushing
and
the
it's almost
wind
it
out of
gives
your
you like
way.
a sense of empowerment, like you are in charge.
Yeah.
You will get from where you are now to where you're going.
Yeah. And it does give you confidence. And it is not just about feeling good because that's sometimes temporarily, but
Hmm.
it causes like you to root yourself in knowing that you're moving towards something bigger.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's the steps that if I had to tell every man, just keep taking those small steps and
Yep.
having your purpose helps you know that you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And that will build your confidence, and
Hmm.
and once you have the confidence, you will everything changes. Your choices, your decisions, and the way you lead, the way you act, just who you are in general. You become a whole new man.
Yeah.
So you had found an acronym for GROW. Why don't you tell the listeners what that is?
Yes. So purpose is to grow, grounded, rooted, and willing. Grounded, it means staying emotionally stable, centered. And a lot of guys call it stoicism.
Stoicism, stoic, being
Yeah.
stoic.
Yeah. And it rooted. I mean, that's why me and connect to your deeper values and purpose. And that's
Hmm.
why me and Gary, if you don't know your values, get a set of these cards, look them up, practice them. The more you do it, the more you know what your values, and it will help keep you on your rooted in your purpose.
I'm gonna
Or
kind of
do,
cut in right there real quick on you.
all right.
If you know your values, nobody can tell you who you are because you already know who you are.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's so easy to be manipulated or swayed. If you know your values, if you know what you stand for, then nobody can tell you who you are.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, back to what you're saying. I
And
didn't want to forget
oh,
that.
for orientation. And that's kind of purpose. Once you get your purpose, orientation keeps you in that direction.
That's your
Small
compass.
steps will keep going. Yes. And then grow W. W willing, uh, open and committed beyond yourself. It's kind of like once you start down this path, you realize you've put this so much work into it and you know it's worth it. And that's your grow, grounded, rooted, oriented, and willing. And it really keeps you becoming the man you want to be.
Yep. So when I was meditating this morning, I was chanting not out loud like weird, but to myself, I was just saying, I'm grounded, I'm confident, I'm open.
Hmm.
Grounded, confident, I'm open. And every now and again, I would throw a little abundance in there. So, but yeah, just stuff like that, and reminds me of who I am and why I do what I do, and it just brings it all together.
Yeah. And if you had listened to a past podcast, I recommend going back and listening to the one on growth. And the biggest key, growth is a journey and not the destination. You're constantly going to grow. You're constantly going to find more values, more purpose, and your direction is keep going, and you'll be more willing to grow the more you do it.
Not only you get more, but your values will change also.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I first started this, I had values that were very important to me, and they're still important. But now I have other values that are more important. And as I
Well,
change, they
have
change.
you ever lost your sense of purpose?
Absolutely.
Oh,
So we talked about in the beginning a little bit, when I got divorced.
yeah.
Um, but even you want to take divorce off the table, like my purpose, before marriage, I mean, that was always my purpose was to get, like you said, get married, have kids, retire. Oh, sorry, have kids, buy a house, retire, die, whatever. Die was always the last one, but
Hmm.
all that in there somewhere. But before that, like as far as the living is concerned, I was a chef. I used to brew beer, and I thought that I guess those are passions, not purposes. But yeah, I lost my purpose when I got divorced.
Mm.
And
And
like I said, I was only
how did
down
you
and out
find
for a while.
your way back?
Well, after being a victim for a while and laying on the floor in my own tears, that I just had to pick it up and figure it out. And I did not know how to do that, but I had to fake it. So I picked up my stuff and I kept moving on like I was okay, even though I wasn't.
Mm.
And eventually I found this work, and I found Charlie and Dennis and Jeff. And yeah, with the coaching that I received from those guys, I now want to pay it forward. So that's how I got my, what do you call it?
Purpose.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Brain fart. Couldn't think of the word.
So yeah, I went through a bunch of depression. I did a lot of things to sabotage myself sometimes, and I didn't have a clear purpose until I saw how other guys were healing and finding their purpose, and they started being different. And I
Yep.
was like, why are they different? They went through the same hell I went through. They went through just as bad of a hell as I went through. Why are those guys different? And hanging around, listening to their stories, and I guess that's why I am here to help other guys, is because my story it is from heartache to finding a purpose, so that other guys can say, "Hey, Robert did it. I can
Yep.
do it." So,
Same with me. Like I
uh,
do that because I can tell you anything and hope that you listen or follow me. But this right here, this work, I know if you are hurting, I know if you do this work, I can promise you, you will come out on the other side.
yeah,
And it's funny
it's
because,
on.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead. Yeah,
Well, there's guys we coach now that they seem like they have to go through that fire,
Hmm.
and they're afraid. It's hot, it burns, and they get close to it, and they start walking around it, and next thing you know, they're back in front of it. They
Yeah.
have to go through that fire. They have to feel that pain, that burn, and get through it. And that's the hardest part of this whole journey. But your
Yeah.
purpose lies on the other side.
Yeah. It's like your actions are having a purpose. It's like part of that is also can inspire the next person. To
Mm-hmm.
the example I used in a lot of podcasts is me and you went to Asheville and we
Mm-hmm.
walked in a snow-covered mountain and we were falling down everywhere. And I was I was right behind you and I would watch as you fail and pick yourself back up. I was like, I'm not stepping there because he just fell kind of deal. And but it's a sense of purpose.
Mm-hmm.
It was like follow the leader at the same time, be the leader for the next guy behind you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and if you don't have a purpose, almost everything you do is forgotten.
Hmm. Yes.
So if
Yeah.
you flounder through this life with no purpose, just drifting around, what's your legacy? When you're
Yeah.
gone, what are your kids? What are your friends? What are your neighbors going to say? And I don't care what those people say about me now,
Hmm.
but when I'm gone, I would like to know that somebody can say that I saved them. Somebody can say that I was a great man.
Mm.
So,
I can say that's my purpose too. It's more like I want to be the benevolent person because I caught on to that word from one of the coaches and I took it and I ran with it. And I said, yes, I'm going to be benevolent. I'm
mm-hmm.
going to learn what this word means. I'm going to be benevolent to my daughter. I'm going to be benevolent to all the guys I'm with. But what I had to learn is I also had to be benevolent to myself.
Yeah,
And I told one guy, I want benevolent overlord written on my tombstone because it means to me more than it means to anybody else because I have to be the leader of myself sometimes.
yeah. If Okay, so if you can't lead yourself, then who are you going to lead?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it starts with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Um, give a piece of advice to anybody listening out there, any guy listening out there who feels like he's completely lost. What is the
re-
best thing he could do?
best thing you can do is reach out to us.
Uh,
Or if he doesn't have it, if he's not ready to reach out for help, find a purpose. But it has to be. It can't be. I mean, it can be whatever this person wants, but it can't be just to live another day. I mean, that's a pretty good short-term purpose. But there has to be a reason for that person to get out of the way they are.
mhm.
So if they're ready to reach out, I would say reach out to us. If they are unsure, I mean, they can check out all the YouTube videos that we do. Check
Uh,
out Superior Mailman
you,
on TikTok.
yeah.
But what else?
Or even join the men's group Thursday
Absolutely, yeah.
nights at 7 Eastern time. You just check out our website, northmancoaching.com, go to the events tab, and log in 7 Eastern time on Thursdays.
Yep. And we are completely non-judgmental. We're here just talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Talk. If you need advice, we'll give advice. But everything that happens in that group stays in that group. So it's definitely a safe place.
Well, think about it. What if every man did live with a purpose? What would the world look like?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. Because, I mean, then you would be living trying to be an influence to the next guy who it's almost that's how the world was meant to be almost.
You think about it, yeah. If every person had a purpose,
Hmm.
you couldn't be swayed.
Hmm.
We would all be a driving force to all the way to the end.
Yeah.
So, but I would love for the listeners to actually reach out and comment with their opinion on what the world would look like if everybody had purpose.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. I wonder how
Yep.
many people would come up with a cool idea on that one.
Yeah. I don't know, but Are we right now wrapping
And
it up?
what's next? Yep.
All right. Well, guys, big things are coming. New episodes, special guests, and powerful topics that you don't want to miss. So subscribe to the website today to stay in the loop. We're gonna have more live shows, more real-time chat and interactions, way more energy. And hey, we're looking for you. So if you are someone who lives by a powerful value or has a story to share, and everybody has a story to share, we want to hear from you. And let's build something unforgettable together.
Okay, and that's a wrap. We spent a year building something real, and we're now getting started on this vodcasting. Thanks for hanging out with us today on Living by Oak Values and walking with us on this journey. Here's to year two, rooted deeper and much higher. We would love it if you could leave an honest review, share it with someone who might need to hear this today. And if you have a story, why not be a guest on the show? Join us again next week for another inspiring episode. Until then, keep embracing your values and stay authentic.
Excellent. Have a